Hey, what's up, guys? This is Bryant Parr at Adventure Awaits, and I just thought I'd show you guys a cool video on how to make a decent walking stick. Now, this is going to be kind of hard to do because I'm holding the phone like 3 feet from me. But here we go. Let's see if we can do it like this. Anyway, I got a pretty good walking stick here. As you can see, it's just about to my chest level where my collar is, where the bottom part of my t-shirt is. But I prefer a little bit of a taller walking stick, but this is perfectly acceptable as well. And anyway, I'm going to show you guys how to make a pretty decent walking stick. This is actually, it looks like a broom handle, but it's actually not a broom handle. It's a little bit thicker. This is actually some sort of paint handle. Anyway, I bought it at a discount store, and then I went and looked at some broom handles, and this is considerably thicker. But a broom handle works pretty good as well. A thicker stick is always better. No pun intended. But anyway, it gives you a lot more strength and durability. But this one, even though there's nothing wrong with it, I wanted to improve upon it just a little bit to make it a pretty viable walking stick for what I need. I took this out. As you can see, I put some athletic tape on it and took it out and put it through its paces. And it was pretty good. It held my weight, you know, through the woods, and I was really going through the woods on this thing too. So this ain't just some 5-minute trail. I was in the brushes and all sorts of stuff. So all right, so here we go. All right, so here's what I did. Like I said, I took this out into the woods previously just to get a feel of it, and I noticed that the mud stopped right about where that mark is, and so I went ahead and measured it for you guys, and that is pretty close to 13 inches, and so that's what I would recommend. I went through a pretty rough patch of mud when I went on my hike, so anyway, it was actually my first video. You might have seen me in my my blue coat. Where I was then is actually where I was taking this. So, like I said, it's been pretty wet. It's actually wet and rainy out right now. Anyway, that is an important mark. I would put a mark at 13 inches on the very end of your walking stick. And that's going to come in later. That's a mud mark is what I'm deciding to call it, because when you go around trekking through the woods, that's where I've found the mud to stop, and that's quite a considerable amount. That's for comparison. So anyway, that's pretty important. And here's the next part. I will tell you what you're going to need to do is score it. Now, this is a regular scoring pad. This is what you would use to clean your dishes. It's not sandpaper, but it's, you know, it's pretty rough and scratchy enough for what we need. What we're going to do is we're just going to take it and go like that. We're just going to scrape off all the little slivers on there. I ran my hand across this the first time, and I'm not sure if you can see that. Anyway, there's a sliver there, and it really hurt because I had to dig it out. But gave me a little bit of a sliver, so I decided to sand it down a little bit. Now, I used some sandpaper, and then I used this, but I found that in the past that one of these works just fine. I'm just kind of an overachiever, so it wasn't quite good enough for me. But like I said, this is going to be perfectly fine just to get all the nicks and the burrs off. We're going to want to rough it up pretty good, so what I would recommend is when you're done, going like this. It's hard to do because I'm holding the camera, but when you're done, take one hand on it like so, and the other one just rotating this up and down the whole of the walking stick, just to scrape it up a little bit, because we're going to be putting some tape on there. That's what I would recommend. Now, this whole project is going to cost you maybe $20. I bought the broom handle for about $4, but that was at a discount store, so I honestly don't know what a broom handle costs. But this is not a traditional broom handle. Like I said, it's kind of tapered at the end. I didn't taper that myself. I think it was some sort of either a really big broom handle for like a shop broom, or something to do with paint, but you can still see some rust there from the thing that was on it. But anyway, I did a little bit of math, and these athletic tapes cost me about $4 a piece, and this this tape here cost me about $6. So I think you should be pretty much set for this whole thing for about $20 or less. Now this is actually, what was it called? It's called strapping tape. But anyway, it's fiberglass tape. It's kind of spendy, but it's super, super strong. So it's definitely something to consider. Those of you who have used it before know exactly how strong it is. You cannot pull this apart. Believe me, I've tried. Me and my brothers have tried before. And my dad actually offered us $100 if we could pull this apart, and none of us could do it. So, anyway, very, very, very strong stuff. It's actually pretty remarkable. It's going to give this a little bit of extra strength. And so, here we go. Alrighty, so I'm not sure if you guys can see this. It looks pretty vivid on the screen. But there's some pretty deep nicks in there. Slivers and stuff like that. And so, that's what I wanted to... Come on, focus. There you go. That's what I want to get off with the scoring pad. And I'm going to show you what it looks like afterwards right about now. Gotta love that pause button. As you can see, there's some scratches there. This is really hard to get this thing to focus. Come on. Come on. There you go. Anyway, like I said, all the burrs and all the little slivers are off there. It's very, very important, especially since you're going to be handling this a whole lot. Walking sticks are very, very important. They provide extra support. You might think they're just something extra to carry around. But me, I love a good walking stick. It's just something firm. It's something solid to hold on to. You can rest against it if you need to. It's not really much of a weapon, but it is something to, you know, smack your brothers with when they're not looking, which is obviously something I would never do, ever, when Dad wasn't looking. Anyway, like I said, walking sticks are very important. Some people don't like them, just like I said, because there's something extra to carry around, but I find it very useful, but, you know, to each their own. So here's what we're going to do. Since you've already scored it with the scoring pad there, you can't really tell, but I have got sawdust all over me. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to just wipe it down. Don't wipe it down with a damp rag. I would recommend using just a bit of, just a spare bit of your coat or whatever. Just wipe it down, get all that dust off of there. Or you can even just wipe it down with your hand. But just to get all that dust off there so that tape will have something to stick to rather than sticking to the dust. Because anyone who's dropped a piece of tape on the ground knows that it doesn't really work well once you get it all dusty. So that's what we're going to do now. See all that there? That was on the stick. That's what the tape would have been sticking to if we hadn't wiped it down as well as we did. Okay, so this next part is going to be somewhat time consuming. Not so much time consuming as it is tedious. I'm going to try and balance the stick here. I I would start right there on that edge, and then just start wrapping the whole thing. I'm going to give it a good 5 or 10 wraps. It's going to extend out to about here, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, so that was 10 wraps. Wrapping is one of the really important skills that would be valuable to you to learn, especially if you're going to be going out into the woods. You're going to be wrapping, you're going to be lashing things, you're going to be tying things together. You know, it's actually a lot harder than it looks if you've never done it before. You may think, you know, it doesn't seem that hard. Well, you know, getting a decent wrap on there, that's not a decent wrap. So you can see where it folded over. I've been doing this since I was 8 years old, and I'm 23 now, so it's quite a number of years. And even I don't get it right. But that's not to say it's terrible. It's on there and it's doing its job. But anyway, we're going to wrap the whole rest of this all the way up to about an inch from the very end there. And that's where, maybe later if I have time, I'm going to be tying a rope onto the end of it. So I will show you the end of that. Oh, my poor aching hand. Okay, so what I did was I wrapped it right there from the notch to, like I said, about an inch. That's actually a little bit less than an inch, but that's all right. A little bit of an inch on the end. I wrapped it once, and then I got to the top, and then I wrapped it down again twice. Like I said, you probably don't need to do that. I would recommend you just wrapping it once. But like I said, I'm not one to settle for second best. This is going to add a lot of strength to your stick. Normally when broom handles or sticks will break, they'll split right down the middle here. And that's going to keep everything together. It's going to keep it from wanting to snap in half. It's going to keep it, just like I said, it's just going to add a whole lot of strength. This stuff is very, very strong. One pass would have done just fine, but like I said, I wanted to do 2 passes just because I could. One of the things I would recommend is just rubbing your hand all over the whole thing. Getting all that in there. Make sure the tape is really stuck to this, because the last thing you'd want to do is get there. The last thing you want to do is to have the whole thing unravel, just because it wasn't properly attached. This stuff actually does. It's not very sticky. I'm surprised it's not very sticky. It's not like duct tape. Duct tape is really sticky, and there's a couple of these fibers in duct tape only. I think they're cotton, actually. But that's why duct tape is so coveted, and that's why it's so liked, is because it's really sticky. It's not just going to fall off. This stuff is not very sticky, but that's okay because we have this stuff, which is really sticky, and that is a brilliant red. Let's see if we can get that better picture. There we go. Come on, focus. Well, anyway, it's not going to want to focus. So, there we go. It may look green and pink, but I promise you that's red, because they didn't have pink. I'm kidding. It's totally red. Green and red. Now, for those of you that don't know, there are... I chose these colors scientifically, not because they're Christmas colors or anything like that, but because it's scientifically science. There's certain colors that make each other look more vivid. Green and red are a pair, and then there's orange and blue, the colors of the Miami Dolphins, and then there is yellow and purple, the color of the Washington State Huskies, I believe. That actually might be white and purple. Anyway, it's yellow and purple. red and green make each other look more red and green. Red makes the green look greener, and green makes the red look redder. The same way with, like I said, blue and orange, and gold or yellow and purple. They make each other look more vivid. I chose these colors only because I didn't have other colors. Otherwise, I would have chosen probably blue and orange, my favorite color combination, but they didn't have that. I don't like the green because you're going to be hiking through the woods and everything is green, and a lot of plants are red. Not the brightest combination, but like I said, this is just what they had. You can buy these at Dick's Sporting Goods. I did. Looked all over the place for athletic tape, and nobody had it. Dick's Sporting Goods had it. They got everything. But the nylon, this is actually fiberglass tape, which is why it's super strong. The same stuff they make Corvette bodies out of. Little known fact. Very strong stuff. I bought this at Ace Hardware. You can buy it at any normal hardware store, Home Depot, stuff like that, Walmart. None of these people are paying me. I'm just telling you where you can go and get them. Anyway, so there's that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to wrap probably 10 wraps each. So, 10. Well, this is quite a bit wider. So let's make it 5 wraps. Be about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right about to here. Let's make it 4. Let's make it 4 wraps. It's going to go green and red and green and red, and so on and so forth. I'm actually going to start with red because that's closer to the top. But anyway, here's what it's going to look like in about 5 minutes. Boom. 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 Okay, so I've decided to come into my room because my grandfather's in the kitchen singing at the top of his lungs about purple people eaters. But anyway, that is the cane wrapped in athletic tape, and being thus, I dub thee the Christmas cane. I'm not sure why it needs the Back to the Future theme, but it does. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take a drill bit and drill a hole right through the center of it. Now, you might be asking yourselves, Bryant, why would you go through the trouble of making a walking stick rather than just going and buying one from, say, Bass Pro Shop? And the answer, quite simply, is because my camera won't focus. There we go. Because it's much more comfortable. It's personalized. You feel more confident with it if you're going out into the woods. And confidence is really, really important. Especially, like I said, if you're going out into the woods, it's not exactly scary in the woods, but if you're in a better mood, you got more confidence, you're going to enjoy your time. And if you have something you can trust, a walking stick, a good walking stick, could be just as important as a campfire or a best friend. It's something to hold on to. It's yours. You made it. You have a sense of accomplishment when you have made it. And are just trekking through the woods, and it's really strong. Like I said, you just know you're confident with it. You know it's not going to break. It feels like yours. And that's another thing I wanted to stress about this. If it's not comfortable to you, if it doesn't feel comfortable, make it comfortable. Make it so, you're going to be handling this thing all day. You're going to be handling it, and you're going to be hiking through the woods. You're going to want to make sure it's real strong, real sturdy. Some of the more complicated walking sticks that I'm hopefully going to be trying here pretty soon, have all sorts of stuff inside them. This is not one of those walking sticks. This is just a regular old stick. But anyway, like I said, very, very important. I'm going to go see if I can find a drill to drill a hole in this, because I don't have one anywhere in my room. This is my room. It's obviously a work of art. I sleep on a hammock. And so anyway, even survivalists don't pick up their clothes. That's the dirty clothes pile, and those are the clean clothes, because I'm too lazy to get a dresser. Anyway, that's that. I'm going to see if I can't drill a hole, and I will put some paracord through there. And I'm going to go ahead and do that before I close out this video. Okay, so what I've done here, it's hard to see because my camera won't focus because it's being a poop head. What I've done here is I've made a little X in the side of the walking stick, just at the top where I want the hole to be. I've done that with a square file, and that just acts as a guide to get the drill bit in there, because it's, you know, once you get the drill bit in there, it's going to want to go all over the place. So that just kind of acts as a guide. What I'm going to do now, and I'm not going to show this to you because it's kind of tedious and, you know, you don't really need to see it. I'm going to take a knife and I'm going to put a little hole in there just as a guide, and then I'm just going to drill a hole through it. So it should look something like that. So I didn't have a drill bit. I actually had to use a Dremel and bore a hole through this whole thing, so that's why it looks so terrible. On top of that, all my knives are like super dull. So anyway, I'm going to put a short bit of paracord in through there, and that should pretty much do it for the Christmas cane hiking stick. Okay, so a little handy tool that you can get. You can find these at some convenience stores. This is a miniature blowtorch. Super, super fun. A lot of people use them for weed, but considering I don't smoke, I use them for little projects around here. I got my toolbox over there full of tools. Let me see if I can zoom in here. Yeah, see that? All of them, the hacksaw. Anyway, I use them for all sorts of projects. Very, very handy. I prefer this over a lighter just because it's more directed. It's just a better flame. It goes upside down and, you know, all over the place. Just a better flame. Careful of this. This is nylon. Don't light it on fire. But what I'm going to do here, and this will be the very end of the video, is I'm going to light the ends of these. You can see that one on the end there. I've already done so. Come on, focus. You were doing great. There we go. Come on. There we go. Anyway, I'm going to burn this end right here, just like that one over there, and that should do it for the walking stick. And just to give you a little, just to burn a little bit of the edges, and that'll be it for this. I'm going to show you that real quick, and then that'll be the end of the video, just about 25 minutes. And thank you so much for sticking around. You guys, you know, I got a lot more videos coming. I've just got so many ideas in my head, and I'm going to be going through each and every one of them, showing you guys how to build and use strong, sturdy tools that'll be used to your advantage when you're going out hiking through the woods, whatever it is you're going to be doing. Yeah, so I'm going to show you the end of that here, and I will just about be done. So there's that. That's the end of this. If you wanted, you could always, hang like feathers and stuff on there. I tried looking for some cool looking beads that I thought I had lying around here somewhere, but I guess I don't have them. Anyway, that is the end of this video. That is the reinforced walking stick, aptly dubbed the Christmas cane. You're going to be seeing this in a lot more of my videos. So anyway, that's how you do that. Be sure and stay tuned on my next video where I talk about boots. Those boots in particular. Not the ones I'm wearing, the ones right there. So we're going to be getting into those hopefully here in the next couple of days. Thanks. Bye. Oh, my sign off. Silly. Thank you guys so much for watching Adventure Awaits. You guys are really helping me out. Be sure and like and subscribe to this channel and click the bell icon to receive notifications immediately when I upload videos. This video is going to be coming up here before the end of the day today. That is a Wednesday, if I believe. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and be sure and, like I said, subscribe to the channel, tell everyone else about it. I'm going to be coming out with a lot more, and adventure awaits, so don't forget to go out and be adventurous.